Andrew, just to put this point on this, the next thing that he says is Cohen recounts what Donald Trump thought Melania thought about this. He goes, how long do you think that I'll be on the market for? Not long. He wasn't thinking about a Melania. This was all about the campaign.
It's building to a crescendo. They're having Michael Cohen lay out every conversation he had, every step he took after the Access Hollywood tape, and then the Stormy Daniels story, and then what conversations he had with Donald Trump, what Donald Trump told him to do. The defense, they're going to argue, or they believe will bring up, well, this was really not about a campaign. It was to protect his personal life, to protect his wife. You know, this is damaging for their relationship. Well, this is the prosecution trying to knock that down. And they've done that before with other witnesses. Did Donald Trump ever say, I'm worried about my wife in this particular instance? And people have testified repeatedly, no, it was really more about his personal image. In this case, Michael Cohen says it was about the campaign. We are building to the moment where Michael Cohen makes the payment, and then Michael Cohen meets him in the Oval Office after the election and says, are you going to pay me back? And then the series of checks that pay Michael Cohen back, not just the $130,000, but the $130,000 plus the taxes he had to pay on it, right?
Right. The prosecutor's already a lot of the way there. I mean, you see this one interaction where he says, apparently, Trump told Cohen to work with David Pecker and take control and purchase the rights and stop this. I mean, arguably, you've got half of it right there. I mean, all of these days that we've been on trial have been leading up to moments like this. And that's often the way it is in trial. You have days and days of sometimes excitement, moments of excitement, long periods of boredom, and then you have a moment like this, which, in my view, is a line that, if I'm the prosecutors, I put it up in a big PowerPoint, because one thing, Katy, prosecutors love PowerPoints. They have more words with lots of bullet points. They love PowerPoints. And you can expect they'll probably have one with those words that we just heard right up there prominently in bullet points.
Let me ask you about threshold, if you don't mind me. The defense is going to try to poke as many holes as they possibly can. You've said that the defense's options are narrowing. What is the threshold for the jury? And what might the defense be hoping for with at least one of the jurors?
They're hoping for a couple different things. I expect that their final arguments will actually be more legalistic than counterfactual. In other words, they won't attack the facts as much as you might expect. What could they possibly argue about the payment from Michael Cohen to Stormy Daniels? Is there any way to dispute that? I've talked to Catherine about this many times. I mean, nobody can seriously doubt at this point that Michael Cohen paid Stormy Daniels. No one can seriously doubt, because we've seen the checks, that Michael Cohen received checks that appear to have been signed by Trump that were a kind of reimbursement. But what we don't know is Donald Trump's intent, because he hasn't told us yet. He might, but probably not. And Michael Cohen is really going to be the primary witness to tell us what Donald Trump told him and what Donald Trump's intent was, along with, of course, a recording of Trump's own voice. So the arguments may end up being more legalistic. Remember, in the opening, Todd Blanche said something to the effect of, there's nothing wrong with trying to influence an election. I think that was kind of a risky statement, because it's easy to confuse election interference with influencing an election, because after all, candidates try to influence the election in many, many different ways. But I do expect that that's the avenue the defense is going to go to, because, number one, I don't expect them to put on a lot of evidence to contradict facts. So assuming they're going to have all the facts are what they are, other than Cohen being a liar about everything, and again, a lot of what he says is backed up by other evidence, I think we're going to see a lot of legalistic arguments in the closing.